Market update on the 14th. So we're up at 370, ended up down 2.3% on the day to 358. And a few new insights. This move ended up being corrective. Yesterday it looked like it was going to be an impulsive move. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it looked like. Except for this just continued higher. And I wanted it to be an expanded flat. I wanted it to be 5, A, B, and then come back down here. So we could have a second wave or a B wave. But ended up going higher all the way to 370, which is fine. But it ends up being a corrective move. So this is A, B, and then C up here for either the A wave or the overall second wave. I'm bringing the second wave back into possibility only because it's a corrective wave. And if you look at this whole move, this was impulsive, corrective. And so we have to keep the possibility open that this is a third wave down here to lower lows. And let's just say that ends up being a third wave. The target would be $330, basically, something like that. Already drew my parallel lines here, so I would want it to get outside these parallel lines. 330, well, it could happen anytime next week. But if it gets out the parallel lines, I would consider it a third wave. This ended up retracing between the 6.1 and 0.78 fib, which is completely fine for a second wave. And this ended up being a corrective wave. So that's still in play for a third wave down to 330. Actually, I already have it marked down here. If that happens, it's probably going to happen pretty quick because it's going to be a third wave. And so it'd be pretty explosive. Today we finished at the lows. And I wouldn't be surprised if this did happen. If it happened, probably by next Friday we get down there to 330. But then we look at this. And this puts a little bit of doubt in it being a third wave. So this looks fine for a second wave, but then we get this corrective move down where we get a 5-wave move, a B wave, which only retraces a little bit over the 0.23 fib. And then we get this move, which you can consider a 5-wave move. So 1, and then most likely A, B, C. This looks like a B wave here. And then a third wave down, and then a fourth wave, and then a fifth wave down for the overall third wave. If you're trying to make this into an impulsive move, again, it doesn't look like an impulsive move at all. But if this ended up being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that would be only the overall third wave. And that would put us at, let's see where the 1.61 fib is. Yeah, so the 1.61 fib is at 354.76. So if this ends up being impulsive, even though it doesn't really look impulsive, it would be 1, 2, 1, 2. This would probably actually end up being, actually it definitely has to be, if this ends up being 1, 2 here, this can't be the third wave because it would end up being the shortest one. So it's probably going to end up being a subwave, probably labeled like this. Different colors. It'd be a subwave, so it'd be like 1, 2, and that means on Monday there's a potential that this would gap down to 355.60, and then that would only be the third wave. So it look like this. And then we'd probably get, that would only be the third wave of the third wave. We'd probably bounce to about 56.65 for a fourth wave. And then we would get the last move down to probably something like 354.19 for the third wave. So 354.19, third wave. And let's see, would that put us through the parallel line? I don't think it still would, but I'm going to ignore that because I'm just doing worst case scenario just in case it ends up being a 5-wave move. This would end up being, of course, 1. This is getting kind of confusing now. 1, 2, and then this would end up being only the third wave of the third wave, and we get a bounce then. Let's see, 1, 2. Get another bounce back to 356 for the fourth wave. Doing this all off the top of my head, but this is what it looks like to me. And then we would get one more move down to complete probably down around like 351 or so, 351 or 350 would complete the overall third wave. Let's see, Monday, probably sometime on Monday. And then if that was the case, we'd be looking for a bounce to 354. And then again, that would take us down here outside the parallel line of a target around 344 to 342 for a fifth wave. And so that would look like this, fifth wave, and that'd be the overall third wave. So that wouldn't hit the 1.61 fib totally. But then again, I don't know the extensions, they're all random. We could get a huge move down this third wave, could get a huge fifth wave down to hit the target of 330 if this were the case. Let's just say that my targets are correct. That's a third wave right there. Then we would probably bounce to about 350 again for a overall fourth wave. And then we would end this, we'd finally end all of this somewhere around 330 or 325. And then that would be the overall fifth wave. So that's just a possibility. I wanted to put that out there. That's definitely a possibility. They really kind of, it was a slow walk down today with the VIX barely even moving, but they could have trapped some bulls up here. You just don't know because this first wave does look like a first wave. This third wave is just really slow. Watch us get a gap down on Monday, and then we end up just going off for the races and people are scrambling. I hope you have some puts or protection or something like that. I have some puts. I would like to get some SQQ if this works out, ends up being a third wave. But then again, going back, I wanted to show the worst case scenario, but again, this right now looks very corrective. So if that's the case, I think that there is potential that we could come all the way down here, or this could end could end up not even being a 5-wave move. This could be A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe down like 355, and maybe we hold this area right here. It's hard to say as far as that goes, but it does look corrective, and my target would be let's say we hit 355, the target would be somewhere around 377. That'd be about $7 above the high, and that would just bring us right back into this area again, more resistance. And so that wouldn't be that good for bulls, but the 1.61 fib is also at 384. And that would also bring us into this resistance area right here. And that would complete the overall A, B, C wave higher. And then again, that doesn't have to be the top there. It could be A, B, C, pull back, and then go higher again. Or it could be A, B, C, and then we start another 5-wave move down. So pretty much it looks corrective, but again, this move right here looked corrective looked impulsive yesterday. It turned into being a corrective move, and that brought the second wave back into possibility. And so you can't underestimate the amount of ways they try to screw people over with tricks and price movement that kind of lulls you to sleep. And this is one of those days where it just kind of got old, but you never know. On Monday, they could gap it down like this. You just don't know because, I mean, CPI, inflation was up, and there was really no reason for us to rally other than shorts covering around 350. So I would look out for either scenario. Bottom at 355, go higher, or watch for a move lower. If we break this low right here at 355.66, that brings a third wave into more possibility as well. The VIX, like I said, was pretty steady the whole day. And that's the thing, on that whole move all the way to 370, barely went down. And so you got to think that there's a possibility that they are just holding it there and then waiting for the perfect time to shoot this higher to the high 30s or high 40s, and we get our capitulation to end the bear market. Could end sooner than later. Maybe everyone's thinking we're gonna get a rally into midterms. Maybe they just punch it real hard into midterms down. And this actually does look like it could be potentially first wave, second wave, third wave higher would hit our target. Yeah, right around our target, 38.22, around that area. Still waiting to break those highs. I've been saying that in the last week in all the videos at 34.90. So, yeah, watch out for both scenarios on Monday. They're both in play. Did yields come down today? I didn't really look that much. I know the dollar was stronger today too. So yields are probably up. Yep. So the yields hit a high. Yields are getting close to new highs again. So, yeah, it's pretty crazy. They're talking about a bond market crash, which yields would spike even more. Be horrible for the stock market. So we'll have to see on Monday. The two possibilities that I see that the only thing you need to concentrate on are impulsive move down or corrective move higher. Just watch the price action and see what happens on Monday. That's it. Leave a comment. Did you trade today? Did you make any money? What do you think about the next move higher? Are we going to rally into midterms, or are we going to sell off into midterms? Tech earnings are they're like the last week of October, so it's going to be interesting. I wouldn't be surprised either way. So we'll see on Monday. Leave me a comment, like and subscribe, and I'll see you on Monday.